What if the person you thought was a murderer was actually innocent? Imagine a small, desolate town on the fringes of the Navajo Nation, where life is as harsh as the landscape that surrounds it. Here, a chilling mystery began to unfold, beginning with the murder of a young woman named Maria. Her life was brutally snuffed out within her own home. Her body was found marked with cryptic symbols and signs of a violent struggle. All eyes turned towards Marcus Greyson, a man who lived on the outskirts of town, known for his solitary ways and eerie demeanor. Marcus was a recluse, a man whose name was often whispered in conjunction with rumors of occult practices and dark rituals. When the local authorities knocked on Marcus's cabin door to question him about Maria's murder, he fervently denied any involvement. "I didn't do it," he insisted, his voice echoing in the quiet room. "It wasn't me." But despite his vehement denial, the evidence seemed damning. Maria's blood was found on Marcus's clothes, and witnesses claimed to have seen him near Maria's house on the night of the murder. With each passing day, the townsfolk's conviction about Marcus's guilt grew stronger. Meanwhile, Marcus retreated further into his shell, a man accused of a crime he claimed he hadn't committed. But then, a strange twist. A local shaman named Wise Owl approached the authorities. He spoke of a skinwalker, a malevolent entity capable of assuming the form of others and causing chaos in the guise of innocence. "The real killer is not Marcus," Owl declared, his voice resonating with certainty. "It's a skinwalker that has taken his likeness." The revelation sent shockwaves through the community, leading them to delve deeper into Navajo folklore and the skinwalker's ability to mimic human appearance. Meanwhile, Marcus remained in custody. Marcus found himself trapped in a web of accusations and fear, unable to prove his innocence. A wise owl, the local shaman, was a figure respected and revered by the community. He was a man steeped in the traditions and stories of the Navajo Nation, and he brought forth the theory that made the townspeople uneasy. "The killer," he had insisted, "is not Marcus, it's a skinwalker." A skinwalker. The word echoed ominously in the minds of the townspeople. It was a term from Navajo folklore that referred to a malevolent spirit, capable of assuming the form of others, a shapeshifter, a doppelganger, a being that could mimic the appearance of any person and use that guise to wreak havoc, undetected and untraceable. The suggestion was terrifying, but the events surrounding Maria's murder were unexplainable, and as the townsfolk delved deeper into the folklore of the skinwalker, they found a chilling correlation between the age-old tales and the strange occurrences in their town. Witnesses claimed to have seen Marcus in two places at once, his likeness wandering the town while he was known to be elsewhere. It was an eerie echo of the skinwalker's supposed abilities. Marcus was still in custody, his pleas of innocence falling on deaf ears. The townspeople saw him as a monster. They feared and reviled him, but Wise Owl's theory cast him in a different light. Could it be that Marcus was a victim too, his identity stolen by a malevolent spirit? The police were skeptical, but the evidence was piling up. The blood on Marcus's clothes, the sightings of his doppelganger, the strange symbols on Maria's body, they all pointed to something far more sinister than a simple murder. The town was caught in a chilling grip of terror, with a monster hiding among them, a monster that could be anyone, anywhere. A skinwalker. "The real killer is not Marcus," Wise Owl reiterated, his voice heavy with foreboding. "It's a skinwalker that has taken his likeness." The town was caught in a chilling grip of terror, with a monster hiding among them. Meanwhile, Marcus remained in custody, locked away, and could do nothing to clear his name. His world had shrunk to the confines of a cold, unforgiving cell, his only companion the ever-ticking clock on the cell wall. As time ticked away, the town was far from quiet. Unsettling reports began to surface, reports that seemed to defy logic. Witnesses came forward, their voices trembling, their eyes wide with fear. They claimed to have seen Marcus, or someone bearing his likeness, in two places at once, even though he was still locked up. One Marcus was behind bars, his alibi ironclad. The other two doppelgangers roamed free. The murmurs grew louder, the skinwalker theory gaining traction. The police held on to their skepticism, their rational minds struggling to accept the supernatural explanation. But their skepticism was about to be tested. Another murder shocked the town, a chilling echo of Maria's gruesome end. This time, the victim was a young man, his body bearing the same strange symbols that had marked Maria's. Once more, witnesses stepped forward, their faces pale, their voices barely more than whispers. They had seen Marcus fleeing the scene of the crime, but Marcus was still behind bars, his alibi as solid as the cold iron of his cell. The pieces didn't fit, the edges jagged and mismatched. The mystery deepened, and the fear grew. Realizing they were dealing with forces beyond their understanding, the authorities turned to Owl. Owl led a team of brave townsmen into the expansive wilderness that surrounded Marcus's cabin. Each rustle of leaves, each whisper of the wind, seemed to carry an ominous warning. But Owl walked with purpose, his eyes reflecting the determination to confront the malevolent spirit. Time seemed to stand still as they waited. Then, under the glow of the moon, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a grotesque caricature of Marcus, its eyes gleaming with a chilling malice that seemed to freeze the blood in their veins. The Skinwalker had shown itself. Owl began to channel ancient energies. His voice rose in a chant that echoed through the silent forest, a call to the spirits of the land to aid him in banishing the Skinwalker. The Skinwalker's form began to contort and twist. It was a sight that could only be described as otherworldly. Then, in a blinding flash of light, the Skinwalker vanished. The silence that followed was deafening. The group stood stunned and shaken, their hearts echoing the silent scream of the banished Skinwalker. The story of their confrontation with the Skinwalker would become a part of the town's folklore, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks in the shadows, waiting for its chance to strike. As dawn broke, Marcus was released from custody, his name cleared of suspicion. With the first light of the day, Marcus found himself stepping back into a world that had once turned its back on him. But this was a world that had changed, just as he had. No longer was he the ominous recluse, the whispered suspect in hushed conversations. Now he was a man who had faced down the shadow of accusation and emerged, not unscathed, but vindicated. Marcus returned to his cabin, the solitary life he had always known, forever changed by the ordeal. The isolation that had once been his choice now seemed a sanctuary, a refuge from the prying eyes of the townsfolk. Yet, despite the ordeal's end, Marcus couldn't shake off the feeling of the Skinwalker. It was a haunting memory, a chilling reminder of the darkness that had nearly claimed his life. The town, too, was irrevocably changed. The legend of the Skinwalker, once a mere footnote in local folklore, was now a terrifying reality. The Skinwalker had not just taken the form of Marcus, it had taken on a life of its own. It had become a part of the town's identity, a chilling testament to the darkness that resided within their midst. Despite the terror, the town carried on, forever marked by the events that unfolded. The memory of the Skinwalker served as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface, unseen and unknown until it's too late. To this day, the legend of the Skinwalker looms over the town, a cautionary tale of darkness that waits in the shadows, ready to assume any guise and sow fear in the hearts of those who dare to confront it.